The Patriot PE2 is a low-impedance electric fence energizer that runs off of standard electricity. It can power up to 2 miles or 8 acres of single-wire clean fence in ideal conditions. The PE2 can be used with polywire, polytape, and aluminum or galvanized steel fence wire. The PE2 is primarily designed to safely keep dogs in residential yards and to keep small nuisance animals such as raccoons, squirrels, and rabbits out of flower and small vegetable gardens. In today's video, we're going to show you how to properly install a Patriot PE series Energizer. We're going to use a PE2, but the installation process is the same for the PE5 and the PE10. In addition, we'll be using the following Patriot accessories: a ground rod clamp, underground cable, and joint clamp, each of which is sold separately. You will also need a tape measure, wire strippers, a slotted screwdriver, and either a hammer or drill. Let's begin by mounting the Energizer. Locate an area of the property as close to the fence as possible, but within 3 feet of the Energizer outlet that you plan to use to power the Energizer. Preferably, this would be an inside location, as the wall of a shed, a garage, or a covered porch. About 4 to 5 feet above the floor, locate a spot on the wall where you can insert a nail or screw. Leave about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of the nail or screw exposed. Place the Energizer onto the nail or screw using the hole located at the top of the unit on the back of the case. Do not plug in the Energizer at this time. Let's now install the ground system. Locate an outside area as close as possible to the Energizer and the fence. This should be an area that stays pretty damp year-round or can get moisture on a regular basis. Good examples include the rain drip area from eaves of a roof, a shaded area, or a corner that gets water from a lawn sprinkler. Keep in mind your Energizer ground system should be at least 33 feet away from any other ground systems like a household power line or telephone line, and it should not be in a main walkway or other heavily trafficked area. Once you have determined the location, drive the entire ground rod into the soil except for the last 4 inches. Secure the ground rod clamp onto the exposed area of the ground rod by tightening both the screw on the left and the right. Then use the wire strippers to remove approximately 1 inch of the coating at one end of the underground cable. Insert this exposed end of the underground cable into the section of the ground rod clamp with a small hole and center screw. Insert the cable so that the exposed end is pointing up to the sky and not towards the ground. Tighten the center screw on the ground rod clamp to secure the underground cable wire. Continue unwinding the underground cable, taking the shortest path possible to where you mounted the Energizer. Ensure you have plenty of underground cable to reach the Energizer and then cut it completely at that point. Strip away about 2 inches of coating and then make a small hook on the tip of the wire. Loosen the green knob on the Energizer and place the hooked end of the underground cable over the metal terminal. The hooked end should rest comfortably on the terminal. If not, simply reshape the wire until it does. Afterwards, tighten the green knob so that the underground cable is secured to the Energizer. Do not plug in the Energizer at this time. Locate the end of the remaining underground cable. Strip away about 2 inches of coating and then make a small hook on the tip of the wire, similar to what you previously did. Loosen the red knob on the Energizer and place the hooked end of the underground cable over the metal terminal. The hooked end should rest comfortably on the terminal. If not, simply reshape the wire until it does. Afterwards, tighten the red knob so the underground cable is secured to the Energizer. Do not plug in the Energizer at this time. Rather, continue unwinding the underground cable, taking the shortest path possible to the fence. Ensure you have plenty of underground cable to reach the fence, and then cut the cable. Strip away about 1 inch of coating. Remove the nut from the joint clamp and place the bolt section of the joint clamp onto the fence wire. Place the exposed end of the underground cable into the bolt section of the joint clamp so that it is parallel to the fence wire. Place the nut onto the joint clamp and finger tighten so that the underground cable is secured to the fence wire. Do not use a wrench to tighten the joint clamp as it could break the clamp. Return to where the Energizer is mounted. Plug in the Energizer. After a few moments, you will hear the Energizer start pulsing and the indicator light flashing. The light flashes with each pulse. This indicates normal operation and the Energizer is working fine. There is just one more thing to do. For the last step, you will need a Patriot digital voltmeter. This is a very important fence management tool that helps you determine voltage on your fence, in your ground system, and whether or not your Energizer is performing properly. Locate a portion of the fence where the soil is somewhat damp or has plenty of moisture. If no area exists, take a pitcher of water, dump it onto the soil, and then wait a few moments for it to absorb into the soil. Insert the probe of the digital voltmeter into this wet spot in the soil. Make sure your hand does not touch the metal portion of the probe. Next, place the alligator clip portion onto the fence wire. You should see the reading on the digital voltmeter between 0.2 and 9.9. This indicates the amount of kilovolts you have on the fence. So if the reading shows 3.5, that means you have 3,500 volts on your fence. For PE model Energizers, if you have a reading of 2.0 or higher, your Energizer is performing fine and your installation is complete. If the reading is 1.9 or lower, please refer to the troubleshooting page in the Patriot brochure. For more information on any of the Patriot products, contact your local Patriot retailer, see the current Patriot brochure, or call Tru-Test at 1-800-874-8494.